people from YouTube. I just came home from Homa. Well, my mom's here. She's feeling so much better right now. So kind of glad right now. I recorded a couple videos on my computer last night on my phone that I will probably upload later. And I just wanted to talk a little bit talk about any random topics that come to my head while I'm recording myself. For me, YouTube so far have worked like pretty much like a catharsis. You know, very therapeutic because I can express myself. I can pretty much translate all my emotions and channel my emotions into a video. That is going to translate to all my viewers and all the people that is watching me. Um, so far I've been just very boring. I'm looking for a work because it's kind of hard to find a job where I can get a good pay, like at least 12,000 an hour. Uh, all jobs that can accept you. Like for example, I work in Macy's. I only make $9 an hour. I mean, it wasn't bad, but still we didn't have much hours to work. It was pretty damn boring work. I mean, in my case, it was just folding clothes all day and be stand and doing anything, and just getting paid. Well, that was not my kind of work. I prefer to do something which I feel like I really wanted to improve myself. Uh, so far, the work I have enjoyed the most was my work in the airport. It was pretty good then job. I have to say this. Even though I always been an introvert, I'm very curious about people and I like to know people. And I have to say that I really like it. But that's when I start to feeling like I was different. I mean, I always feel I was different, but I felt that I was different because I was educated. So I thought I was just smart or just educated. So that's why I was different and I didn't talk like other people. So I realized that no, I actually I have an issue, I have a problem. I don't like to call it a problem because I don't consider Asperger's as a problem. I kind of say it's a bless, is a bless sometimes, it's not a bless other time. And in my case, I really enjoy being curious. I guess that's the point of aspie all the time. Was to learn. Knowledge is power. Be the wiser you can. It's like sometimes I feel we have an archetype that's pressing all of us. We are just that kind of uh, people that value knowledge. Make us value knowledge more than anything else. In my case, I believe knowledge, reason are important, but I also believe instincts, frenzy, chaos are also important in our life. Men cannot be completely reasonable. So if that happens, we will stop being men. The beauty of our race will end immediately. So I believe somehow those archetypes, those patterns of behavior, expressing people like me and other people with Asperger's, especially those kind of people that have uh, abstract way of thinking, like mine. I'm not a passive person. I mean, I can be passive, reasonable, but when I get angry, I get angry really bad. I can get a bit violent, you know. So I'm not a violent person. I'm just saying that when I get angry, I get angry. You know, I just don't like to be abused by people. You know, I like to make my my rights stand. You know, I'm not better than you, and you're not better than me, but I don't like to be abused. And somehow I feel, in this case of Asperger's, I feel many of us are being abused, and many of us are really, you know, very passive people, just very quiet. They let other people walk above them. That's not my case. I feel a connection. So I can say that I have this. I like to say Norse archetype of a fighter. You know, the archetype of a ruler. I feel like I have. I don't have any. I mean, this will sound grandiose idea. Maybe it's too much for my personality and for for my sorry and for my knowledge and for my capacities, but I feel like we need somebody, an activist, somebody that can be, you know, our fighters, our the people, the person that can, you know, represent us. Um, Somebody like us, you know. I guess it's gonna be kind of difficult to find a person with those kind of values. I believe it's good to be reasonable, to be passive, to, you know, don't listen to other people's opinions, because sometimes you have to be just don't have to hear or don't have to see everything, because people tend to be really judgmental. Sometimes you have to stand for yourself and fight against others. You know, that's how I feel. I feel like I should sometimes, you know, express myself not only in reasonable and logical ways, which many Asperger's do. I believe I must also not. I mean, I'm not saying that I'm going to stand out and punch people or start like using me, or I mean talking about me and looking at me as a weird person, but I like to, let's say, I'm going to talk in these terms. Those instincts of conservation. Um, I want that, you know, anger, ecstasy to go to my soul, and, you know, say, hey, stop, let me explain you how is this. Find the right words and the right tone to explain people why uh, we should be respected. Why sometimes we have to say that we have to explain ourselves. We are not crazy. I mean, we might be weird. We might have odd behaviors, but we're not crazy. Yes. If some of us have really, really weird behaviors that is going against societal values, I guess that's because being in society makes us that way. I guess, you know, and many of us are really addicted to video games and computers and those kind of stuff. Uh, I have seen cases of kids that the only thing they do is have their, you know, face all day in a cell phone playing video games. I mean, I guess that's the way they bond, you know, about because they know they're different. I guess that's the way they heal themselves, you know, through all this. I also feel that there's many different ways to heal men's soul, you know. If you wanna talk to me, you know, I'm here. You know, I'll be answering your opinions and your questions. But I feel like, in my case, I feel that we can be therapeutic with each other. The way I use therapy with other people is through mythology and histories. I feel poet, poet, poetry. Mythology is an exercise for the soul. An education for our soul. Can have a luminous spell in our psyche. Make us act according with the symbolic term or the symbolic term. Uh, I believe that's why I read so much about mythology and symbols. Especially, I'm very interested in about the good evil nature of symbols. How this is expressing in society. Well, it's pretty difficult to to explain. Like I say, I'm not the best talker. I'm just very good at writing. Sometimes my ideas are in my head and they don't go out pretty well. And so some people might misunderstand me or think I am crazy, like so many times I have heard in my life. And I make a lot of theories, hypotheses in my head, but I'm making, that's how I work. I work like I'm making all these connections and all these logical hypotheses of all these inferences and deductions. I'm making them work together. But that's in my head. That's in my psyche, and I can sometimes say them to people. Sometimes I write them, but I have realized when I find the words, people really get really interested and surprised and very very interested in what I'm saying because they're like they kind of surprised. Wow, this guy say something really clever. But this does not happen to me all the time. And I guess that one of the issues being Asperger's is that sometimes I feel my ideas are flying all over my head and going all around. You know, I just feel like I'm making logic of everything and stuff like that. Have something in Spanish we call it psyche. Is you can make the analogy when a heart beats too fast. I don't know how you call this in English. We call it in Spanish tachycardia, which is a high rate of the heart pulsation. Well, that's the same in brain, and we have a high rate of ideas uh, in our. I mean, we are developing a lot of ideas very fast. So that's I can say is my case. That's why I guess sometimes I get misunderstood a lot. I really wish I can explain myself better. I find the right words. English is not my first language. My first language is Spanish. But I wish I could be a more outspoken person. Sometimes I try to be in connection with my feelings and talk with my feelings. But when that happens, I can be quite good talker. But like I say, all the time. I'm not all the time in connection with my feelings. I mean, everybody is. I'm aware of my feelings, but like I say, being Asperger's make you process emotions in a different way. Um, be more logical sometimes. In my case, I am an INFP, and my feelings is introverted. My intuition is my feelings introverted. My intuition is extroverted, and I quite feel a lot. My own feelings, and I make decisions based on my feelings sometimes. Sometimes I really don't like to be an INFP, because we are too over idealistic. Uh, so that can be quite, not good sometimes. Especially living in a society that is sandwiched between, especially because when you're living in a society that is between high moral values and at the same time is all the opposite. So I feel like we're living in a completely neurotic society. So I feel like we kind of, in my case, I kind of throw that to people all the time, So sorry, I kind of throw that to people all the time. So that's all the reason why people kind of dislike me a little bit because they say, "Who are you to judge me? Who are you to say this? Who are you to do this?" I don't feel like I wanna be patronizing people, but I wish I can make conscious what is unconscious. People sometimes believe they are the total masters of their life, but we're not. Nobody is a completely master of their life. We have a certain degree of free will, but we are our acts and behaviors are very conditioned by a myriad ways, the myriad ways in which emotions and instincts conditions our life. So yes, I guess that's a bit of egocentrism right there. We like to believe we are not subject to nature that much anymore. We feel we are just above other animals. That's called anthropocentrism. Um, that's quite a term that is very used in social science and philosophy. Um, well, we believe that we are the lower of the angels, but in fact we can say that we are the higher of the animals. So we're still animals. So I guess people sometimes just believe that they are the masters, but in fact we're not. Um, other issue I struggle with about being an aspie, especially astrap aspie, is that I get a lot of depression, a lot of existentialist depression. Uh, I get depressed because it's childish. I know it's childish because I wish sometimes that things are different, and I wish we could have a more spiritual society. I'm not saying less instinctive or less animalistic because I believe that's a huge part of our human nature and our human soul. But I wish there's more people who can be more individuated, master their own, their own animalistic sides, So sometimes I get really depressed because I see how this is this society is. I see that we have cars, we have beds, we have, we are advanced, we're an advanced society. From now, the difference between now, 2015, um, I don't know, 4 or 5 thousand years ago, is that we are very technological advanced. We are smarter. We are clever, but it doesn't mean we are wiser. And I believe that's how it feels. This is a lonely society, not wise, no awakened society at all. So this is all about reason to get what you want to fulfill your natural tendencies. You know, that's how it feels. It feels that This society is just obsessed with sexual conquest, power, and money. And we can see that as something very humans to achieve that, but in fact that's something very, very animalistic that is just expressing itself in in a bunch of terms, you know. That's how I see, and that's my perspective of all societies, especially living now in the United States. Um, you ask me if I hate America. Well, this is not my country. I kind of dislike it a little bit. I hate to see how much people is so, how can I say this word, so subjected to their own more more basic instincts. You know, I can see the system is quite just a perfect destructive machine. You know, um, it's like a monster. You know, that is feeding with your emotions and your fears and your traumas and your complexes, and that's how it's growing. You know, I hate to watch TV and watch the Kardashians. I hate to watch so many people zombified like this. You know, I don't want to be conspiranoid, but or this is a completely not a stupid natural impulse of humans, or is somebody that is saying, hey, do this because this makes people stupid. I don't know. I don't know to believe if there's only Illuminati or something like that, but I feel like every time I turn TV, I just hear the Kardashians. I hear, you know, celebrities, Hollywood, money, the best cars, the best blah 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 blah. I mean, everybody wants the best stuff. I know. I mean, we want nice stuff. I mean, I know. I guess we want to have. In my case, at least, I want to have, you know, a house. I want to have a car. I want to have something to eat every day to feed my family. But I feel that there's a huge gap between excess and and what is the basic, you know, the most natural thing. There is a huge excess of this, you know. I feel it's just that we are just coming from a totally natural tendency to self-conservate ourselves and our family to go to something called egoism, egocentrism, and consumerism. So yes, that's what I think, and I know many people think the same way I am. Not only Asperger's, which many are like this. You can say a lot of Asperger's, many Asperger's think this way. Uh, there's also neurotypical people think this way, but I guess they are just more synchronized um, with emotions, and they are not mindfulness, you know. So they can get they can get infected more easily than us. That's what I feel. I feel neurotypicals can also quite do this and think the same way I do, and don't be so and don't have so many bias against, you know, other people. It's definitely that, but I feel like the way we think make us more vulnerable to this infection, this mental, moral, spiritual infection. Well, that's a positive thing about being Asperger. Um, these big moral values we have is self-fulfilling sometimes, but at the same time get you more abused by people. I guess I don't want to say this, but I say it already. Sometimes that's all the issue I have with Asperger. Sometimes I just talk, but I guess being there's this misconception nowadays that is you are good people, spiritual meaning, try to look for meaning in life, and you get abused and you get run over by other people. If you are bad, if you are opportunist, and you are clever and wise, you run over other people and get what you want. You get more sex, you get more power, you get more friends. That's not all a misconception. There's in people's minds. So yes, I talk a little bit more. I've been talking. I feel like I've been talking about the same stuff over and over and over again because I'm a kind of obsessed with society. Uh, but I feel like, and I also say the word feel a lot. Think. Let me say. I think the that's the most noble thing I can do. Is just uh, uh, philosophize about these all aspects we're living on, all this environment we're living right now, and try to give some support to other people and say, you know, it's not bad sometimes to be immersed in yourself. I mean, sometimes being immersed in yourself can make you find truths than other people that is immersed in the outside. I mean, in the exterior, don't see. We do see it. Aspies, as people with Asperger's see it. So this was quite brief. It's not briefly. Next time, I guess I will talk in a couple weeks. And like I say, I'm sorry you don't understand me, but like I say, this is a way in which I channel my emotions, and this is very therapeutic. Therapeutic. Sorry, my accent is just terrible. Um, Also because I feel like this is something I must do. You know, I want other people to hear me. I want other people that is right now through a lot of emotional distress realize that not everything is dark. We also find love, and we also find hope in our life. I mean, only those who suffer are those that only those that going through dark, dark times can find the light. Suffering, I know this is quite weird what I'm going to say. Okay, suffering is not bad as it sounds. The word suffering is not that bad. I know it's going to sound like a downright sinister glee, but suffering is not only about negative stuff. Being miserable is not always a bad thing. You know, in these moments of life, when you're miserable and when you're going through darkness, is when you can find real your your real self. Your real Carlos, your real Hannah, your real John, your real um, Mike. I don't know. So suffering is not bad all the time. That's my perspective. Suffering is not like many people want you to believe, like suffering and being miserable all the time is wrong. I read a long ago this book from Albert Camus called The Myth of Sisyphus. When we see life as something that is, you know, without meaning. I don't want to say we are, nihilistic or something like that. And I can say that suffering should not be seen like being in a wheelchair. Like emotional suffering is not something, or being depressed is not something like being in a wheelchair or have like a terminal cancer. Uh, I feel emotional suffering, existential suffering should be seen as something really blessed, a blessing, because through darkness, when we're in darkness, we find our real person, our real self. We find ourselves. Um, Sometimes when we are going through all this emotional distress, is this is more like a hero's journey in ourselves, in our own soul. It is a moment of rediscovery, redemption. So I want to say that if you're Asperger's and you feel like you want to kill yourself, that you don't want to live anymore because people is just being shit to you. If life gives you lemons, you made a lemonade. That's what my mother said all the time to me. Um, you know, hold on, um, try to live, go look for help. If you are 20, 25, 40, 50, 60 years old, and you have Asperger's, I know it's difficult, especially when you go undiagnosed late. That's also other difference I have found between people that is diagnosed when they're a child and people that is diagnosed when they're 40 or 30 years old. It's difficult because they go to all their life living in a completely lie. You know, that's how I feel too. I haven't been diagnosed. I will be diagnosed very soon because I want to have a document that say, hey, I'm Asperger's, and you have to have patience for the way I am. Uh, I can say that many people just feel like their life was just a completely lie. That they thought they were, crazy or retarded or something like that. But they thought they were just Asperger's. And for me, being Asperger's is just like being diabetic. I believe diabetes is worse than being Asperger's. Uh, I know this sounds crazy to say, but hey, not all about being Asperger's is bad. And I know that a lot of you say, hey, I'm a damn smart motherfucker. Sorry for this word, but I know a lot of you say this. Hey, I'm really smart. I'm really logical. I really see things other people don't see. I'm more spiritual. I see way more meaningful ways of living. And yeah, you should be glad because of that. So, like Albert Camus say, suffering is just that's that's the existence of humans. Suffer. That's what we're here for, to suffer. And if you're suffering, if you're going for a lot of emotional distress, well, there's always something positive about the negative. So cheer up.